to you with another video. I know it's been a really long time since I had some content on my channel, but last year I had a lot going on, working full-time. I started back going to school to finish my master's program and just a lot of life issues. But in 2019 I want to bring you guys some real content just so you guys can get to know who I am. But I do want to say Happy New Year to everyone and just get right into it. So I just want to talk about my first experience with death. When I was about 6 years old, my mom had a second stroke. And when she went to the doctors all said that everything looked normal. They were just going to keep her overnight for observations and that she would probably be released within the next day or so. So we go home, I'm thinking everything is fine, and then in the middle of the night we get a call from the doctor saying that we need to rush to the hospital. And little do I know, when we get there, the doctors are saying that something happened and she has slipped into a coma. So basically the stroke went to her brain and they had to rush her into brain surgery. And after that, they said that they would just monitor her and hope that she would be responsive. So at this point, I'm 6 years old. I don't know anything about death. I don't know anything about comas. All I know is that my mom is laying in a hospital bed and I really can't say anything or do anything. And after the first couple days, she didn't wake up, and the doctor said, you know, that because of the extent of the damage to her brain, you don't know what you're going to get if she does wake up. Like, she can be in a vegetative state or she can be fine, you just never know. So they said they would give her 2 weeks on life support, and then after that they would pull the plug, and then if she started breathing then it's great, but if not, then, you know, obviously she would be dead. And so I can just remember feeling so anxious and so sad because, you know, I never really thought of losing my mom, or I couldn't even remember like the last things I said to her. So I remember the last time that we got together, the day the doctor was going to pull the plug, and me, my grandma, my dad, and my grandfather, we all gathered in the room, said a prayer, and after we said the prayer, the doctor kind of left us alone so we can get our final moments, and they pulled the plug and there was no response. And I just remember feeling like, this cannot be real. What am I going to do without a mom? All these different things just started going through my mind. And then, since it was just me and my grandma, she just remained strong, so I never really saw her cry or anything, and she just kept going for me because she knew she had to be okay to take care of this little girl. So in my mind, I just took that as strength. So I didn't really cry, and I just remember going back to school and seeing a therapist one time, and after that the therapist was like, oh, she's fine, she doesn't need to come back to me, she'll assimilate back into school fine. And that was it. And I think that was the first time I started to realize how I can manipulate people and not allow them to see what's really going on inside. Because of course I was sad. I felt like my whole world ended. And then to make things worse, I lived across the street from an elementary school, so everyone knew I didn't have a mom. So when I came back to school, I just felt like everyone felt sorry for me, like the teachers, my friends, everyone. And then going forward, I think that the years to come, like on Mother's Day and different things like that, when we would do like little cards and such in school, I just felt so sad. I mean, I made stuff for my grandma, but it was just like I didn't have a mom, and I just felt like people just really felt sorry for me. Like every time people would invite me to go over to their houses, I just felt like I didn't want to go because I thought they were taking pity on me. And that death really made an imprint on me, and it made me see that, you know, I can't really show people that I'm not okay. So then as I got older, everything that was going on, I just felt like, okay, no matter what it is, I have to look okay. So I can't cry, I can't be sad, I can't do any of these, I can't show any emotions. I just have to show that I'm fine and that I'm going to make it through whatever, whenever. And I just remember one time talking to one of my friends after I kind of started dealing with the different deaths, and she was saying that she never really saw me express myself, and she really didn't know a lot about me. And this is one of my closest friends, and I started to see like, wow, that's a problem, because I was so afraid to get hurt again and feel that pain. I started to build walls around me so that no one else can get in. And you know, obviously when you grow up as a child, you have certain circumstances or certain symptoms. Like I was really angry. My behavior just went downhill from there. Like I became a troubled child. I remember getting suspended all the time, being all like fighting and, you know, picking fights with people, just all kinds of craziness. And those were symptoms. But I think as a child, you kind of just grow up and you just go through the motions and go through the motions. But then when you get older, it starts to hinder you because you can't really develop healthy relationships. I remember just being in college and trying to be in a relationship with a guy, and I couldn't because I was just so afraid of being hurt. I was so afraid of losing someone else. In my mind, I felt like anyone that I get close to, I'm gonna lose. So just don't get close to anyone. So don't really tell anyone who you are. Just be that person that looks like they have it all together and looks like they made it through despite their circumstance. And lo and behold, we ended up having so many fights, and we had to break up because I wasn't in a healthy spot, and he probably wasn't in a healthy spot either, and he didn't know how to be with someone who had been through so much trauma. So at that point I knew that I really had to start looking and seeking help, because if not, then I couldn't be in a relationship, I couldn't have healthy friendships, I couldn't have a healthy relationship with myself because I wasn't being real. And I think that was the biggest lesson I've learned. Like, if you aren't transparent with even yourself, that there's a huge problem. And I think that, you know, there was a lot of times where I was just crying in my room by myself, or just not knowing what to do, or just being depressed because of all the things that I've gone through. But I realized that I really needed to get help and really start to deal with the things that were going on inside of me. And I think one of the biggest issues, I just felt like I couldn't get close to people because I felt like I was cursed and that something bad was going to happen. So when my friends would invite me over, or their families would invite me over, or my boyfriend's family would invite me over, I would just feel like a burden or an alien, and I was just felt like an outsider looking in and not really knowing what they had, but just always wanting to experience it. So I just want to encourage everyone, you know, no matter the situation or what you go through, just make sure you're open with yourself, and you know that it is okay to feel however you feel. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to be sad, like a month, be sad. Talk to somebody. Don't bottle it up, because me as a little girl, when I learned to hide my emotions, it affected me, but I didn't really see the true consequences of that until I got older. So sometimes it is okay to admit that you don't know, or that you are struggling, or that you need help. It is okay. And I just want to encourage everybody to seek that help, to talk to that friend, to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to become healthy inside, become healthy emotionally. Because I think that a lot of people talk about being healthy physically and working on your outer appearance, but forgetting that there is a whole person on the inside that you need to cater to and take care of. Because if you're not mentally healthy, nothing in your life is going to work. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye.